What is happening, FlickPop fans? Get ready, because we've got a whirlwind of breaking news that's going to blow your minds. First up, President Trump is issuing ominous warnings and launching military strikes near Venezuela, targeting alleged drug boats and escalating international tensions. We're talking about a second strike, this time killing 3 aboard a vessel in international waters, all part of a broader effort to combat what the administration calls narco-terrorists. But the action doesn't stop there. President Trump is also bringing his zero-tolerance approach to crime to Memphis, Tennessee. He's establishing a task force, vowing a DC-style crackdown to combat what he describes as a city overrun with carjackings, robberies, and shootings. This move follows similar operations in Washington, D.C., and has sparked debate among local officials. Switching gears to a more politically charged development, the White House is promising a fierce crackdown on what they're calling left-wing terror, following the killing of right-wing activist Charlie Kirk. Officials, speaking on a podcast hosted by Vice President J.D. Vance, vowed to dismantle alleged extremist networks, framing the incident as part of a larger, organized campaign. And finally, we're circling back to Memphis, where President Donald Trump has officially signed an order to create the Memphis Safe Task Force, outlining a significant National Guard deployment to tackle violent crime. This is a massive federal intervention aimed at restoring safety to the city. Stick around for all the details and make sure you're subscribed and have that notification bell on. President Trump declares war on drug traffickers near Venezuela. The U.S. military has launched a second strike targeting a boat allegedly carrying drugs from Venezuela, resulting in the deaths of 3 individuals aboard. President Donald Trump announced the operation on social media, describing the vessel's occupants as narco-terrorists and emphasizing the threat they pose to U.S. national security. This latest strike follows a similar operation 2 weeks prior that resulted in 11 fatalities. The Trump administration has accused Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro of facilitating drug trafficking into the U.S., even doubling the reward for information leading to Maduro's arrest. Tensions have been high since August when warships were deployed to the Caribbean, and Venezuela has called on its citizens to enlist in militias in anticipation of potential U.S. incursions. This aggressive stance has ignited a firestorm of debate, with some supporting the strong measures against drug cartels and others raising concerns about escalating international conflict and potential civilian casualties. Will these hardline tactics actually curb the flow of drugs, or are they pushing us closer to a larger confrontation? Find out next as we investigate a major crime crackdown coming to a U.S. city and what it means for residents. Trump takes aim at Memphis crime with DC-style crackdown. President Donald Trump is bringing his aggressive anti-crime strategy to Memphis, Tennessee, establishing a task force aimed at replicating the perceived success of his operations in Washington, D.C. Trump declared Memphis overrun with violent crime, including carjackings, robberies, and shootings, vowing to combat the savagery with federal intervention. This initiative, however, has met with opposition from Memphis Mayor Paul Young, who argues that crime rates are already declining and that federal intervention, particularly the deployment of the National Guard, is unnecessary. Governor Bill Lee of Tennessee, however, has voiced support, aligning with Republican lawmakers who are backing the White House's plan to deploy federal agencies like the FBI and ATF. While supporters point to FBI statistics showing high violent crime rates in Memphis, critics and local officials express concern over the federal overreach and its potential impact on community relations, echoing debates sparked by similar deployments in D.C. Could this federal intervention be the key to restoring order, or will it create more problems than it solves? Stay with us as we uncover White House promises of action against alleged left-wing terror in the wake of a shocking killing. White House vows crackdown on left-wing terror after activist killing. In the wake of right-wing activist Charlie Kirk's killing, senior White House officials, including Vice President J.D. Vance, have pledged a vigorous crackdown on what they term a vast domestic terror movement allegedly fueled by leftist ideology. Speaking on Kirk's podcast, officials like Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller vowed to uproot and dismantle these terrorist networks in Kirk's name. While investigators have yet to confirm a motive, the administration is preemptively blaming leftist extremism, with Vance specifically targeting the NGO network that foments, facilitates, and engages in violence. This rhetoric has raised alarms among critics, who fear it could be used to suppress dissent, especially as details surrounding the arrest of suspect Tyler Robinson, who reportedly espoused leftist views, are still emerging. The swift condemnation and promise of action have drawn comparisons to broader political polarization and instances of violence targeting both Republican and Democratic figures, raising questions about the administration's approach to political extremism. As the White House intensifies its focus on domestic threats, we're heading back to Memphis for a deeper look at the official federal plan to combat crime. Don't go anywhere. Memphis Safe Task Force, established amid National Guard deployment. President Donald Trump has officially signed a memorandum to establish the Memphis Safe Task Force, a comprehensive federal initiative designed to combat violent crime in the city. During a press conference, Attorney General Pam Bondi stated the goal is to make Memphis safe again, with Governor Bill Lee and Tennessee Senators Marsha Blackburn and Bill Hagerty in attendance. Trump assured that crime numbers would drop and plummet within weeks, drawing parallels to his administration's efforts in Washington, D.C. The memorandum outlines a strategy involving hypervigilant policing, aggressive prosecution, complex investigations, financial enforcement, and large-scale saturation of besieged neighborhoods. It details the involvement of numerous federal agencies, including the FBI, ATF, and DEA, working in conjunction with state and local law enforcement. The deployment of the Tennessee National Guard is also authorized to support the task force's mission. While the administration touts this as a decisive move to restore order, Memphis Mayor Paul Young has expressed reservations, stating he did not request the National Guard and believes crime is already decreasing. Community reactions are mixed, ranging from anticipation to concern, as the city prepares for this significant federal intervention. That's a wrap on today's top stories. But before you go, stick around for our lightning round recap and remember to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. We've got a lot to cover today. President Trump launched a second military strike targeting a drug boat near Venezuela, killing 3. In domestic news, Trump announced a D.C.-style crime crackdown coming to Memphis, Tennessee. The White House also vowed to dismantle alleged left-wing terror networks following the killing of Charlie Kirk. And finally, President Trump signed an order creating the Memphis Safe Task Force with National Guard deployment. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to FlickPop for more breaking news, ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next upload, leave a comment below telling us what you think, and follow us on all our social media channels. We'll see you in the next one.